Okay, welcome to our session number 114, or as it is, Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 7. We are up to video number 599. So not that far off having a rather large number of videos on the site. And that's not bad for only 5 years of videos. Online today we have Jeremy.
Good evening all, yes. I'm playing Dimitrov, the Soldaran sage, wise man, humble soul out to help the world.
Do you want to give him any more of a description there?
He's someone who grew up from a peasant family in Soldaran, but has worked his way beyond such simple beginnings and has now become a lord within the world of Canberra, and most recently instigator in ensuring that the Duke Stephen of Iacus, the Canberra, can become King Stephen of Canberra. Yeah. And he's never asked anything in return, obviously.
Though we do have a few people hoping that the Duke would be overthrown. Quite ecstatic to learn that he would no longer be the Duke. Was very disappointed to find out that he was going to become a king instead.
And it's doing the sort of thing that, given Dimitri's feelings about the faction generally, he was certainly amongst those people, but having met Stephen, well, there's certainly a lot worse factions out there.
And he's more Corendon than Thiatin, so I'm sure that's a redeeming feature.
Yeah, Corendon's always bad.
At least he's not Hatchian.
Not Caldaro, you say.
Next up we have is Mark.
After that humble kind of introduction, I don't know where to start. I'm playing Bradshaw Dugan, the Dwarven weapon master, who works tirelessly together with Dimitri and the plan to save the world. And while with Dimitri's humble look on life and upbringing, Bradshaw believes that they are both friends in some sort of way in a weird kind of situation. I don't know how much more BS I can do, by the way, Martin, but that's
my first thought there was, if any player from this game hears that, they will think Mark has been taken over by a doppelganger last session.
There may be no opportunities in the future for that to happen. But I'm here to hopefully be able to go see eventually get the walls to reopen again one day, and then actually make sure my wife's okay, and make sure I can save the world and keep everyone happy and joyful people. And also try to look after Dimitri when he does stupid things.
But if he doesn't do stupid things, it's his fault.
I'll still be following no matter what. Anyway, he's that guy that does those special crazy things called magic, but I don't believe it. So.
The point is that Dimitri's incapable of doing stupid things.
Well, it depends on how, from Dimitri's point of view, that's correct. From Bradshaw's and the rest of the party's point of view, there may be some sort of different views on this situation.
But by definition, if Dimitri's doing it, it's not stupidity. He's fine that.
It may be crazy.
Sorry, go on.
It may be crazy and not wise or irrational.
Yeah, there might just be a view on life, that's all. So.
Yeah, the correct view.
We'll see how we go. Anyway, it's all good. But, there is a little bit of love. I don't know how much you want to put love, whether it's just to feel that if I don't hold Dimitri, there's kind of issues. But I feel that we have to let him go occasionally and then bring him back occasionally, if that makes sense.
I thought the love was in the you'd love to introduce him to your hammer. You'd love to introduce him to your wife on a dark, stormy night.
I'd love to introduce him to my goat, and he's very hungry too, but that's it. But hey, look, I'm soft. I don't know if my going from teenager to kind of young adult, that kind of dwarf stage, where I feel that I'm a bit more softer on my side of Dimitri. Maybe not, but maybe I'm just in a good mood today. I don't know.
Well, you're still 8 years off becoming, going out of teenager.
I know, I'm not quite a young adult. Until I do that, I'm still going to act like a teenager.
What, not listen to your elders and betters?
Do you classify as elder, or do you classify as somebody who does BS? So, I'm very kind of, I'm kind of...
Obviously classified as better.
I don't know. I still don't believe all the many tricks you do, because I actually prove your luck. Yeah. So we'll work it out one day. One day, maybe another 600 sessions for Martin will eventually get there.
Well, I did work out we had done roughly 430 sessions in this storyline so far. So who remembers what we did last session?
Now,
I can do this one. I'm good. Okay. We went to see the king, did some stuff over there. This is Rachel's point of view, not any of the whole actually what happened. Then we went to go check on these evil people coming out from certain castles that we're not supposed to go, just the brother of the, related to the current king. And then we saw some things, we killed him. Rachel killed a lot of things. Just plan would just be you want to kill rate, and then we stop. Now, Dimitri, you can fill in the gaps.
So, yes. Well, as I said in the introduction, having successfully completed the ambassadorial mission to Alphasia to get the Prinky was recognised by Alphasia that they would recognise Karanikos as an independent nation if they declared independence from Phaeacia, and then having a detour via the Isle of Dawn and the Moon, we returned to Karanikos and provided said treaty to Duke Stefan, and he duly signed it, and then requested, simply because he knows that Dimitri is so capable and able, requested his support again to deal with an issue that was coming out of the Black Eagle barony. He's a 4-legged cousin who he doesn't necessarily want to actually be killed, or at least not killed in a way that then the king or the duke would then have to reprimand or execute the person who killed the baron because they're royalty. However, there was rumours of a new Messiah type creature person leading spreading a plague throughout the land, or coming out of Black Eagle barony, and so we quickly, Dimitri was able to summon up some fast steeds, and we were able to quickly get over to the western side of the Grand Duchy, through the kingdom, and discovered that this Ashen king was leader of a cult that was spreading the Heartfire plague. Which normally led to when people were infected about 4 days to incubate, and then they would self-immolate. And it turned out that the garrison at
Red Lip Garrison.
Red Lip Garrison, yes, that's right. Had failed in its duties to help hold back the force of people, plague people, and allowed them to walk past, kept Radland safe to keep itself going, but allowed them to wander freely through the Duke's lands. And so then Dimitri and co headed north from Radland Keep to follow the trail of this Ashen King. Discovered as we got close, there was a massive swarm of small, almost fire sprite-like creatures that were slowing our passage northwards. As we destroyed all them, Dimitri managed to get around the swarm, and I think he noticed some others in the. I don't know if he noticed couldn't be the Ashen King, but I think he noticed the remnants of the Ashen King's forces, which were supposed to be of about 50 to 100, I think. Mm-hmm. Off the top of my head, I'm not that on my head. And however, it seemed that the Ashen King had further surprises to potentially slow down and prevent our advance.
Okay.
But we won't get impacted yet.
And there's a map up there showing you roughly the area.
Yep.
And I even have, where is it? That one is the base write-up I had done for you guys.
Marvelous.
Which pretty much says mostly the same things. Which is not too bad. And noting down that the Ashen King is one of those dreaded half-breeds.
Do we know where the half-breed from? Or between?
Said to be from Half-Fiend. So Tiefling.
Half-Fiend. Oh, okay.
Which would explain a lot of the demonic association with stuff happening.
Yes, it would certainly. Yes. The brimstone that we smelt outside of Radler Keep.
Yep. A lot of these things are connected.
That's okay, because we smited soon. Smited the mighty Bradshaw and Dimitri. I think of a good word for Dimitri. Yeah.
Only while there's no one else around to buffer you?
Yes. Something like that.
Okay, so last session we had you just finishing the battle and seeing a bunch of Ashen people stumbling towards you. And you had just made your way through a field of fiery demonic creatures.
Yep.
That acted as a swarm.
Yep. And so just essentially just clean off those swarm of fire sprite type creatures, and we can now see the what we assume is the forces of the Ashen King in front of us.
Yes, you do see them, but you also see a strong wind pick up, and these creatures just seem to blow away with the wind. Leaving you with just a low smoke on the ground, trailing off to the west.
Okay, so the wind's coming from the east and heading back towards Fort Doom and Lyle, is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, okay. And so when you say disappear, we're talking about the remainder of the sprite that hadn't quite been trampled under the hooves of Climate.
Oh no, you did get all those. You got all those at the end of the last session.
Yep, that's what I thought. So we're talking about the apparent followers.
The followers that had apparently been walking towards you from the north.
Okay. So aside from the small amount of smoke left on the ground, is there anything else still in front of us then?
Just the ground smouldering, heading off, following your path in.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking that we will continue north along the road then, at least initially, avoiding the smouldering ground if we can. To see if we can make the Ashen King and his presumably close forward, not still ahead of us. Or whether in fact they all just got blown away to the west.
Okay. So you managed to make it all the way to your area, into your actual home hex, with signs that the Ashen King had probably made it this far before you defeated the forces earlier on. But there's no sign he entered the town.
Can we be doing some survival section check?
But that would be with moving exceptionally quickly, including trying to move the force of 50 or 100 people exceptionally quickly, wouldn't it?
It would.
Considering when you currently left relocate?
From what you found from them, he may have been strung out over a couple of days' march, and not all of them left in one group. They did give you multiple time frames where he could have left.
Yes.
Did we know that he was purely going to London or was going to keep as well?
It's
seemingly, what's not on that map is the Great Library of Quequeton, which is just near the hex, like immediately southwest of the R in Radley, at the capital R. Which you will be written up now, we follow the fact that yes, there was evidence of him following along this trail all the way to the library, but apparently did nothing went from there.
Amusingly, I can't actually see the mouse pointer on the screen anymore, so not sure what's happened with that.
Yeah, so with the R where the Rablet Keep is, that's where the library is that correct?
The
heck just to the southwest of it, like a tiny bit of the R actually touches that particular heck. That's good. But yeah, basically, when you go, it's effectively, the one due east of Quequeton Chain. But there's a line attached between them.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so you can now see the pointer. I had to turn off the point of view and turn it back on again. So roughly there.
Okay. That's cool.
That's where the key for Quequeton was where Dr. Dark didn't do quite so well.
Gotcha. Okay. So if he's...
And it's where Dimitri's domain actually is now based around.
So if all the forces that were going towards the library have been forwarded, do we feel that can we just check the trails of can we see if anything needs to go to the library, or can we
by the looks of things, the whatever was marching here disappeared mid-step at various points along the trail.
Can we get an indication, or can we work out whether or not they've actually all disappeared at the same time? We saw the ones who were closest to us after the battle get blown away to the west.
Survival roll.
Back to my normal roll. Bradshaw sees birds in the sky.
Yeah.
1 plus 2 is 3 for me, Martin. So. See how much I rolled.
19 total.
Well, that was why when you said you were rolling so many 20s, we believed you, because it has to be a miracle you roll anything over 5.
You would do it, you, but not necessarily point alone.
I'm the Will Wheaton of Australia, okay? Just let me go.
Okay, so yes,
Yeah, so 19 for Dimitri, though.
Dimitri believes that they all disappeared around the same time, and while you're examining it, you see a contingent of giant elk come into the clearing of the road with mounted elven warriors, each with longbows held ready.
I look at Dimitri and Trollan and say, I feel that you are better to talk to these people than me. I'll be quiet.
Dimitri had to find a look at choice. He said, voices.
Even though I know Elven,
Did you see the invaders that were apparently just here?
He says, the leader steps forward, introduces himself as Maven, which I should write down one of the names.
Yep.
Okay.
And says that he had been sent this way when they had sensed a foul presence enter their woods.
Hey. Oh, good evening. How are you?
So, Martin, would you like to introduce your character?
Yes, I'm a wood elf, part of the Kenzai monk, level 12, and that's about it.
And would you like to bring him up to speed of what's happening?
Okay.
So,
After we talk all those things, we'll try and work out where the rest of the army was. It looks like they've just disappeared something out of nothing. And then we've now, all of a sudden, we see these band of elves with longbows on elks. And then I said that I shouldn't be talking because I'm a dwarf and they don't like you dwarfs. So I left it for Trellin and Dimitri to do the talking.
Okay.
So we actually followed what we believe was the path of the Ashen King right there. So I don't know if you remember at the end of the last session, just as we killed off all the fire sprite type creatures, Dimitri got around the battle and beyond the smoke that they'd been causing, and could just see what he thought was the 50 or 100 or so followers of the Ashen King only a short distance ahead of us. However, just as we started moving off towards them to get a closer look, a easterly wind blew up, as in coming from the east, and they all just effectively turned to ash and blew away, leaving a bit more smoke behind. And so we then continued to follow the path the next, 20 miles or something like that, to Quest Recon, or Dimitri's domain, we're getting evidence of the Ashen King forces spread out all along that pathway, but seemingly they also disappeared just at the same time, just as they reached Quest Recon, and that based upon the fact around the area from there, Dimitri at least has assessed that it appears they all blew away at the same time. Just as we'll look at that and working that out, apparently Dimitri's neighbours arrived, again the elves of the wood, led by Maven, who was apparently sent here when they sensed a great disturbance in the force, enemy coming into their forest.
Works perfectly fine. I don't mind cross-genre.
And yes, that's where you walk in.
Cool.
Or shoot in.
Okay, so Maven says that the King of Radleb had had sent him to investigate, while he was speaking to the tree keeper to see what they could do to repel the menace from inside.
And
Which is where they remind you that part of that the forest part of your lands technically still belongs to the Elven Kingdom as well as to the Duke's Nation.
so I want to double check on from a player perspective, or exclusion, where yes, when you talk about the idea of sent from the king, sent by the king of Redland, he's referring to an Elven king of the forest. Yeah.
It's because the Kaleri have claimed Redleb Woods as their kingdom.
Yeah, Kalari, right.
Okay. Glorious.
And then they hail the Trellin. Been a while since they had seen you.
Yes, in my elf guy.
Well, this is exactly effectively your homeland now. This is your home tribe, your home clan.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Nothing to do with Halfling.
They laugh because they've heard the tale of how you were a halfling but got better. And they can't fault anyone for wanting to be an elf.
Right. And who's the other character in this chat?
Well, we have Bradshaw and Dimitri in the chat.
Well, he's the leader of the elves, but he's like the leader of this band of elves. How many elves can there were?
There's you can see about 15 with him,
Yeah.
and you're sure that there are more in the forests keeping watch.
Yeah.
Oh,
And when did your fellows first sense the entrance of this dark menace?
About 2 days ago.
Process. So it would appear that it's an evil half-breed come out of Fort Doom, who is spreading fire and brimstone wherever he goes. So,
His quick responses aren't all half-breeds evil.
the it's not stated to be correct. So, your forces did not actually see any of these followers of this Ashen King before they disappeared. It would seem they only just disappeared. Or actually, sorry, it took probably a good hour or something like that. Traveling a bit slow on the Phantom Steeds to get set to follow the track and stuff, but yeah. It took an hour or two to actually follow the track to West Queenston. Well, no, we probably spent much simply to actually get to the library beforehand, so it would have only been probably half an hour at most.
He does say that he felt the wave of the clan tree spread through the forest before he reached here. And they sensed that the evil had lifted from the forest at that time. And then looks at Bradshaw and goes, mostly.
I feel racially profiled here, but I'm not going to cause trouble. I'm trying to be very polite, and what you believe, I say. And
He does then comment saying, such a good kid there.
Did Did Dimitri have any sense at the time that it was a definitely a magical breeze that had blown stuff away, or? I mean, it certainly fixed the context. So the suddenly caught everything to turn to ash and disappear, but
Well,
it wasn't something we actually.
it could have been a form of banishing or turning that scattered the Ashen King's forces. That by calling himself the Ashen King, he may actually be able to form creatures out of ash.
Afterwards, yes, and that's that nice verbatim here. So, well, either way, it would appear that the immediate threat to Rex Creton and the Red Woods has passed, but it's important we must actually venture westwards for Gretty Cape and Muln to confirm whether or not the wind destroyed this Ashen King and his forces, or merely dispersed them temporarily.
Maven does say that he does not believe they were destroyed, just banished from the region.
Can Bradshaw pop up here? Would your scouts have an idea where they might have disappeared to, either to the west or east, north or south?
He says they have left the realm of the woods, and that is the extent of the king's power.
We saw them being blown westwards from where we were. It could make the sense of away from the centre of the Kalari Kingdom.
So you'd know that the centre of the Kalari Kingdom is around this area here.
Gotcha.
So that's why it would take him 2 days to cross that length of the forest.
I'll be a bit more talkative now, because after the teenage joke comment. So if you do see the forces come back, can you please inform Trellin so we can come back and help you if need be? But we'll head west to see if we can stop this menace for good.
He says, good luck. I'm sure you have some dwarven hammering that may provide a solution.
I always want to roll an insight check right now just to see how sarcastic he wants to be.
Go for an insight check.
Oh, that's a good roll. That dice decided to work. By the way, Mark, my first roll was a 1. Insight for you actually. 23.
Okay, he's definitely poking fun at dwarven problem solving using hammers.
Why?
It's okay, because Dimitri will explain the insult to you later.
No. Don't even bother that. You have a look in Rachel's face. Oh, really? In a nice, calm moment, underneath this fuming anger in his head, in his brain right now. Going. Came to himself. So, he would like to do some insults to Elvin, but he's going to hold back.
It's okay, I can have him do a check to see if he notices. No, he doesn't seem to care too much about whether or not you're insulted.
I didn't feel that.
You only get war.
Look, if there's going to be a conflict in the party, you're going to get it first. You just sort of put it out there.
No, what Dimitri told me is just like that, hey, the interaction between Elf and Dwarf was. The Elf didn't care whether or not the Dwarf noticed the ego.
I feel there's a lot of racism towards dwarves in this world. Okay? It's okay. If my people weren't stuck in their own city and haven't come out into the daylight, that's where the problems existed in the first place. So, anyway,
yes.
So I'll go to okay, Dimitri. Enough chit chat. Let's go to the west.
Indeed.
And as you're getting ready to go, you see the Chamberlain from Quasqueton show up.
Yes, carry you. First got out of my head from it.
Celebrate.
I
I was giving Jeremy a chance to remember.
Just work out good guess, because we've been, we've actually travelled from Specularum to Rattler Keith in the day, and then we went straight on. We were thinking we'd be able to have a little rest, but we went straight on because the Keith had actually let the Ashen King head northwards. So we're actually going for a long day, really, haven't we?
He does say, welcome home, sir. We have food and bedding prepared.
Yeah, we've been a long day already. I suspect it will be advantageous for people to have a night's rest, and we will hunt the Ashen King in the morning. He's been dispersed and unlikely to leave his home. Hopefully we'll take some time to reform his forces, but he's probably going to be possible to catch tonight if he's still in that form.
The Zelagor does say he suspects that the foe you chase will be more powerful at night.
Dimitri was talking about that too. That has nothing to do with his not going to chase him tonight. But so unless the other two, unless Garland or Bradshaw have particular objection, it's probably worth stopping here at Crest Creek on overnight. Dimitri can do more research, and we will leave early in the morning.
That's good.
And that way also Dimitri can actually catch up with Gallagher and determine what's been happening in the library since he was last there, and confirm what next is to the things that need to be done with the meeting.
While leading you back to Cosqueton, he does bring you up to speed on some news that it seems that the elves of Elfheim seem to almost have removed themselves from the forest, or at least the nobles have. They don't seem to be caring what happens to the peasants.
Mm-hmm.
And the dwarves have gathered an army to repel fire giants that seem to be attacking them.
Yeah. Does Maven and his forces have any interest in stopping at Crest?
They're more than happy to stop in one of their vassal states, they say.
They'd like to join into my domain. And there might be some pointed discussion over dinner or afterwards about exactly whose land is whose.
This is Dimitri's keep, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I've got plans. I'll wait till we get there.
So yes, you have arrived at the keep. There's a stable set aside for any physical mounts you may have, as well as a room set up in the tower.
Have we technically got Jackal with us at the moment?
You do.
Yeah, cool. I was thinking we did, but I thought I'd just double check. So.
And he's still riding his cart.
Yes. Which was how to keep up with the Phantom Thieves.
He was keeping up with the slowest member of the party.
Yeah.
Okay, so stable my half goat, half goat, and just want to have a look around the keep if that's okay. Just going to wander. I'll tell them meet one for dinner. Just want to talk to a couple of the local keep members just to get more information about Dimitri. I'm looking for some insights from Dimitri. And non-Dimitri.
But you keep calling it keep, but it's a public library.
Okay.
A grand public library.
Okay, yeah, whatever. I'm looking around for the people that, while Dimitri's not around, to get a different view of Dimitri from other people. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeremy, who of your followers will he run into?
I can roll it up and really pick if you want.
Right, so, I've got to pull out the domain information business. Yes, I said, yeah, I've got my notes there, but they've got the role of the followers, not actually got their names and everything. Where's that one? And but actually, there are certainly quite a number of staff at the library. There's sort of about 250 people there, I think, from memory.
And there's the full list of the NPCs you have in charge.
Yeah. They're the media type, but obviously, if Bradshaw's wandering around, he's probably talking to some other generic staff at the
I would, if I saw a dwarf there, I'll be honest, I would probably go up and talk to the dwarf more than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to get some, I don't know how you want to put it, inside gossip to Dimitri, I might not know. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
There's probably not that many dwarves around, but certainly the Dimitri's Royal Enforcer.
Yep.
Is a dwarven warrior, so Granite Hammersley. So,
yeah, I'll probably talk that and then we'll just pick around it. I just want to get a bit more insight of Dimitri away from the party.
Okay, so you catch up with Granite Hammersley.
there's about 500 staff around the library, so yes, there's certainly a bustling community.
Right.
That,
So I'll just greet the dwarf warrior and introduce myself and ask how he's been and how's the keep been and how's the library been and stuff like that.
So
Yeah.
he sort of responds with, "Hey kid, so which clan do you belong to?"
Well, the Durgan clan.
Atruaghin Clan. They don't sound like they're fairly high up anywhere that he's heard of. Are they still actually active, or did they were they part of the clan that lost their forge?
I look at him. As far as I know, they still have their forge. I may have missed a session where I might have forgotten this one. So, yeah.
GM is good at remembering these things.
Yeah, I know. I had a feeling, I'm not sure if since my uncle passed away in that session I used, whether that was a issue. But I assume we still have a forge, because I haven't had any news otherwise. But
He had left the clan because the forge had been destroyed.
Okay, so.
And he was going to try to redeem the clan so they can get a new forge, but he died instead.
Yes, I say that I'm looking to restore that at some stage. But due to current concerns, I have higher priorities, unfortunately. And I asked how long he's been working with Dimitri and what he thinks of Dimitri and other bits and pieces like that. So,
Well, he pays.
yes. What do you think of him? He's very...
He's a little bit short for a human.
True. Find him a little rough and a little bit, I suppose.
I hadn't noticed, he says.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anything interesting in the library that I wasn't aware of? Because, Dimitri doesn't pass on the information sometimes.
He winks at you and says, "There's a lot of knowledge in books, lad."
Yeah.
Well, if you grew up reading them, you'd probably know all these things. A library is, he does this whole grand gesture of, a library is full of knowledge just waiting for people to open a book and explore. Many dwarf that I know growing up would frequent the main libraries of the clan to read about the world around us, which is how we learnt just how horrible most of the races are.
I'm intrigued by his thought on this. I rolled a dice, thinking out below 10, I was going to go, I almost fall asleep. But I rolled over 10, so I'm going, is there anything in particular in the library I should be looking at? Is there a section that would you recommend I look into?
Maybe read about craftsmen, because you still look too young to have picked your craft for your lifetime.
True. Okay. I'll just ask the direction in the right area, and I'll actually go into, I think it's my first library as a dwarf, and go, because my reading skills wasn't that good as a junior. I was not very good. All the action kind of in the reading process. I'll go and find the section.
That makes someone believe that Brexit might not be a studio style.
Well, you weren't there, so I did roll the dice, because 10 or below I wouldn't have gone and followed the instructions. So I'll go inside and just pick up a couple random books and before dinner and just have some reading time again. So I'm trying to improve myself. I'm still young, but I want to get more seasoned.
So pick 4 crafts. They're the crafts you picked up books on. If you want the GM to pick crafts, you'll find that quite hilarious.
I'm up for hilarious and special. So,
Okay.
So
First book is a craft on needlework,
okay, that's fair enough. Yeah.
talking about how dexterity can be improved through the use of thread and needle, as well as repairing and creating wondrous designs for heraldry and many things like that. It goes quite in depth into how those who use needlework can also use it as a substitute for medicine if people are wounded, because not all medics have the capacity of sewing a person up.
I'm really into this because I don't believe in magical healing, so I'm really into this. So, interesting. Okay.
The next book is a book on herbology, 101 ways to cause your friends to see things that aren't there.
I'm liking this. That's not this one.
All about how not everything in the world is considered safe to eat, but they all have interesting properties in the right doses.
I'm intrigued with this to come in.
And how the craft of alchemy is all about experimenting with, and herbology together can make wondrous things.
Interesting. Okay.
Next one is a book on timekeeping. The craft of knowing what time it is and how to measure it.
Very interesting.
All written in Gnomish.
Yeah. Well, that won't be a problem. I think I'm involved. No. Common War Gnomish is involved.
That'd be a war learning Gnomish. I have to admit that the Gnomish exist.
Well, I have gnomes in my case, so you understand what I do. Absolutely. I have one of the learned some basic gnomes. However, you can tell that the book doesn't
And the last book you find there is a halfling cookbook.
Would I know that was it?
That's
Well,
cannibal.
It's only cannibalism if it's talking about eating other halflings. Literally, eating the same species is considered cannibalism. Eating different species is not.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know the author. Would I happen to know the name of the author that would make familiar to me at all?
The book looks to be maybe 200 years old.
I can't remember how old my brother-in-law is.
At about 120, he would be considered to have aged out.
Okay. Interesting. I'll might pick up some recipes to cook for the wife. If she's trained. So.
They do have an extensive section on cooking dwarves.
Whichever that are.
I am in shock. Shocked but not surprised, if that makes sense.
It does have a waste not, want not attitude to all the parts of a dwarf.
Halflings. I think they're nice creatures. But I think that, make sure I know, look around, make sure there's no wife there. Oh. Yeah, okay. I look for something that's not relating to a race that I might know.
Well,
And,
you do know that she has many of these volumes.
I know, but I'd like to. Sometimes I feel that if I cook for her, she didn't have to, long day of assassin and killing people. I thought I might look after her, if I cook, keep the wife happy wife, happy life. So, then I look at the time and go, oh, it's dinner time. I'll head off to dinner and work my way back to everyone else.
Okay, you walk in to see Trellin and Dimitri sitting at a long table with Maven and a couple of his lieutenants.
I'll join and see if I can get the servants to grab me a dwarven beer if they've got anything like that.
And you do notice they have the a tabard of the Tree of Life on each of them.
Ah.
On Maven's portrait?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just hidden under their clothing when they were on their giant elks.
Yeah, no, it was the fact that it was, you made the comment immediately after Mark had said, I'll find catch by the servants' eyes to get dwarven beer. And yes, they're all wearing Tree of Life tabards. What?
Sorry, I was just finishing the description.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it is amusing how that turned out.
So, obviously, Dimitri gets on well with his neighbours, so it's not surprising that they're sent up to support the...
You do see that probably half the staff here are elves,
Mm-hmm.
and the other half seem to be Treldaran.
Yep. I mean, there probably a few fans in there as well, I would expect.
Not as many.
I'm certainly happy that Dimitri would be a somewhat discriminating sort of employer.
And so yes, you see that they have quite a good spread on the table, quite a lot of meat and various dwarven staples, and a big chunk of inedible food that the elves seem to be enjoying. Of course, that's the description for Bradshaw joining the fray. So,
Exactly.
the rest of you, you've had catching up between Maven, Trellin, and Dimitri, with Zalagor pitching in about the state of the world, and that the dwarves seem to be currently accepting of gnomes for the first time in their history. Mainly because it is either accept the gnomes or both the gnomes and the dwarves get wiped out in their own country.
Yeah. But in the dwarf country.
Well, it is known as the Kingdom of Rockholm, but the gnomes claim the top of the mountain is theirs. As they have many sky citadels around the world.
So, the threat of the fire going there is something they're concerned about.
It has They have intelligence saying that the fire giants have gotten into Rockholm's capital city of Dengar and caused damage, as well as reached the gnomish Sky Citadel.
So is this this gnomish? Does this go down 10 feet, or like what's the Rockholm level of interest? Because they might not want to have the surface layer.
Well, the surface of the Rockholm has what they call Upper Dengar, which is where visitors are received by the Dwarven capital. They do have a lower Dengar that's under the mountain that most locals never get to, most non-locals never get to see. So it's rare that someone gets invited down to see the king in his own palace. He normally traipses upstairs to the public palace to meet external people.
Okay, cool.
I recall something that the very fine company went to Leaky's had a bit of conversation with Fool over his message stones. He might have passed information, but yes, it would appear that the under world of the Dwarven Kingdom is also at rest.
And that was for, and Dimitri would be able to talk on that, just that Zelagar and Maven had no intelligence on what's happening there.
No, that's right. So I was just considering if that conversation with Fool has occurred by now.
It has occurred by now. Assume any conversation that happened in a previous session with your character has already happened.
Yeah, that's right. What kind of timeline were each of these groups? I did not find it, yeah. So this guy said, yeah, Dimitri will also talk about the fact that, yes, there appears to be a significant demon incursion coming, affecting the Underdark the first time. Do they call it the Underdark this one?
They call it the Shadowlands.
Shadowlands, oh yeah.
Which works so much better with an element of darkness.
Yes. Which may also be connected with this Ashen King nemesis that apparently just started to lead his forces and hold in this area here, being a half-breed demon. Go.
Yes, Zelagor does say that with the gods being distracted, many of their usual plans have and protections aren't available. And I also note that Mark has just lost power, so he may not be back on for a while.
Okay.
As in, like he lost power at the house, or just like his computer died?
The suburb he's in just lost power. I'm sure it's got nothing all to do with he's in Deadman Prospect.
Right. Are there violent storms?
Any storms going on around here at the moment?
It might just be that something had tripped it because it is a construction zone.
Yeah, and it's -4.
Well, if you where they were doing the NBN here and they had the work stop, it would cut off.
-4 in a large apartment complex means everyone's got their ears online.
That too.
Which is what I think Martin's the other one.
Yep. Yeah, it is possible that they didn't plan their energy usage very efficiently.
Oh, they never do.
I'm sure only half the people will use the power at the same time. And if everyone just got home and turned on the switch, or maybe it's cooking time or internet time, who knows? They all have to share their connections. So, yes, he does talk, well, you do go into the fact that there's a whole thing with demons, and Zalagor's talking about how even in his time, if the gods were quarreling, the stuff that they normally look after gets ignored.
Sorry. Certainly came to the rattling occurring in multiple places around the world at the time, which I already knew, but it could be disturbing the idea that we're getting influences from the other planes as well.
Well, he does say that's where most of the influences come from, because the Immortals, with their patronages, provide inspiration for what they provide patrons to, based on what they're doing. And if the certain gods are distracted and what they normally do is limit the others, then those who are normally limited have free reign. And he says that's one of the reasons that the King Halav got invaded by gnolls, because the gods were busy dealing with other issues. And one of the points where many of the wizards he knows basically make a point of not factoring gods paying attention into their plans.
Right.
He sort of has a look around with the hope no paladins are here. As it is a sticking point with paladins who always believe you must follow the dictates of your god.
Yeah. Okay. I suspect that possibly the anti-paladins or two clerics around Quest-Quaton would possibly be made in these forces. I don't know that many truly pious, but Dimitri definitely pays lip service to it. He's got his the high priest. Even the high priest in Quest-Quaton a diviner rather than truly a cleric. So, how's Mark going?
He's basically saying he can't find any news elsewhere as to why the power lost. So Martin may be correct in that it's too many people pushed the button at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we used to lose Jeremy around 6 o'clock on our recordings, because that's when people got home and turned the internet on.
Fortunately, it would normally just be I'd lose connection, and then what I did again wasn't actually power. So.
Okay, so yes, you do end up getting through a long dinner. You see Bradshaw busily reading a couple of books he removed from the library.
Dimitri will quietly inform the staff to ensure that he doesn't take them to the laboratory. He might use them for like no idea what they're used for.
Though the disturbing one is the Halfling cookbook. You can see him leafing through.
Hey, I'm sure he's reasonably curious to see exactly what his wife cooks. Those lovely home cooked meals that he's been enjoying, he might have some more concerns about now.
I feel like Dimitri's taking advantage of Bradshaw's absence.
Oh, he would say that even if Bradshaw was here.
I'm joking.
I'm disappointed to myself here.
Well, hopefully Mark will enjoy reading back and hearing about how that everyone's interested in seeing how he deals with his home cooking after this. Especially after his wife sends him some dwarf jerky. I'm sure he'll believe it wasn't made from dwarves.
Yeah, probably made for dwarves, not from dwarves.
Okay, so
Of course, considering we're talking about halfling here, it's quite probably both. It would be too much more enjoyable for the halfling sense of humour to have dwarves eat dwarves.
it would definitely suit their sense of humor.
And their overall goals.
And I'm sure they would provide gnome jerky with the statement of no calories because they don't exist.
Yes. or yes. They don't call it no jerky, they call it diet dwarf jerky.
Okay, so yes, you end up having a relaxing night. You get a few discussions from Sergey and Valeria stating that they're doing some searches of the surrounding area using magic.
Mm-hmm.
They try not to get too close to Koroski Keep because, well, they don't really like what they see in that direction.
That's yes, certainly a potentially different place to work. So.
And
had to work with Umaga as well.
well, Umaga wasn't really much into the divinations.
No. But like they say, it might have some extra support aspect, but yes. Or much if you go for a bit of a fly around and see what you can see, but hey.
He's trying to protect the settlement, so he's keeping closer to home.
Yeah, no, fine. But obviously, yeah, so we catch up on a lot of global events, and I'll be pleased to be able to pass on the information about what happened in as far as the treaty negotiations with Albania and the finding of the Declaration of Independence that will be celebrated in the near future. But do they have any more information or word about this Ashen King and the cult that come out of the Black Eagle Barony?
They've heard rumours that the Ashen King is based out of a chapel in there from some of their workers.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it's not just his complex, it's the whole of his suburb. So Mark just updated. Apparently...
hang on, the whole of the suburb in Black Eagle Barony or... yes.
Yeah. So yes, we probably won't hear back from him tonight. And what they do know is that it's located somewhere in the barony. They don't know which church or where it's located. Just that they had encountered a missionary trying to preach the gospel of the Ashen King.
They've got a church somewhere in the barony. Presumably, we're talking the capital, Fort Doom?
Unknown if it's at Fort Doom. That would make the most sense, they say, but considering the Ashen King's people have been declared outlaws in the Black Eagle Barony, it was believed that maybe they should try to help these Ashen King's people.
Mm-hmm.
that quickly turned to a nope when they started to.
He's not our friend in this situation.
Yes, with all the rumours coming out of the Black Eagle Barony, this seemed to have been worse than any of the rumours that they had heard. But originally they felt pity for the people that were being picked on, so this cult.
Yep.
Until they actually met some of the cult members trying to convert them with some sort of plague.
Noting that they appeared to reach the outskirts of the library. Is there any take that they actually got in or potentially infected anybody amongst the staff?
They don't believe they actually made it past the outskirts of the town. There's no indication of anyone here who wasn't already here. And currently Alex is hunting through the populace to see if strangers have appeared.
Yep, obviously, yep. Look out and keep a watch for, because if they haven't appeared, we don't know how this plague spreads as such, so even the fact they got close might be a concern, so obviously keep a watch out for any signs of the disease.
Well, Sergi has been able to divine that the plague spreads by contact.
Okay.
So new people have been kept at weapons length.
Mm-hmm.
And they've started a quarantine program through the settlement just to make sure that if anyone's infected, they should know by the end of the week.
And obviously, part of the fact that we deliberately had Maven and his cohort here, make them aware of that, be aware of the threat of this fireplace.
Yep. It doesn't seem to have affected elves yet, as far as they know. But it seems to be rife amongst the lower class of the Black Eagle Barony.
Yeah. I mean, are there significant numbers of elves in the Black Eagle Barony?
Very few, because that they never settled there.
Yeah, so it certainly, there's no real reason. It's like, from what we've seen of the infected or heard about the infected, mainly in the Black Eagle Barony, which I can accept that there may be some reporting, maybe a bit spotty, but we haven't seen any evidence that any particular races tend to be more resistant, obviously, than others, recognising that Black Eagle Barony is not necessarily got a wide spread of popular racial types, so there's not necessarily good sample size of anyone else anyway, so.
You would expect halflings and humans to be the main plague bearers at this time.
Mainly because there's so many of them, and by comparison to the others.
They're the major population of the Black Eagle Barony.
Yeah. So it may make any or have any indications that, oh yes, it does appear that elves are susceptible. And then, to be truly sure that he's aware that that conflict is no elves have been there to be infected as yet. Definitely stay on the lookout and be aware of the symptoms. And obviously, apply quarantines as appropriate if needed.
Yeah, they are looking to stay in the town for the week to make sure none of them come down with any of this plague.
Mm-hmm.
It's very generous of them.
Well, they also don't want to carry the plague back to their settlement if they don't have it.
They're now concerned that, hang on, if we are infected, we don't want to take it back to the rest of the nation.
And the thing that would terrify them the most is if they brought it back to the clan tree, and the clan tree was susceptible. So as defenders of the clan tree, their role is to keep it safe, even at the expense of their own life.
And obviously, it makes sense for them to remain here anyway while the quarantine holds. But obviously, the intent would be to get a message out to the rest of the elves to say, hey, be aware. Guys, Jellicor, the other staff are aware that, well, we know that Rabbit Keith had some warning knowledge about the plague coming, and they're quarantined, but not letting anyone in or out, so therefore, they could keep on doing. Are we aware that Rome is aware of the situation and what to look out for?
They have communicated with Mistress Sashia of Loon, and she has also imposed a quarantine on that side. Can't guarantee as much there because she doesn't have as many forces.
No. But again, there's something else they're aware of what to look out for.
There is some some do suspect that the Ashen King is really Bargle in disguise, having another attempt to overthrow the governments of other areas.
It's certainly not an unreasonable theory. It would imply then that the perception that the Baron has outlawed the Ashen King cult would be as much of a publicity stunt as opposed to actually being actively thwarting it. If Bargle is behind it, assuming the Baron is aware that Bargle is behind it, is that the case?
Well, the Traldaran and the elves here don't actually trust anything coming out of the Black Eagle Barony. They look at it all as suspicious, which is why they didn't just accept the Ashen King's people into their settlements straight away.
Yeah.
But if it hadn't have been the Black Eagle Barony and they had been ejected, they probably would have treated them better. It's just anything coming out of that barony is suspicious because they believe the Dark Wizard there taints everything.
And quite a valid protection, or certainly one that's better to be more cautious than not.
Which is why most of the ire directed towards the Black Eagle is to the Magistra Wizard, not to the Baron himself. It's believed that the Wizard is treating the Baron as a puppet, and most of them are wanting to kill off the Duke's cousin. Of course, whether or not that is how it's happening remains to be seen. The only way they can tell for sure is if they kill the Wizard and the Baron remains the same.
The advantage to the Wizard would be that their client has a lot less reason to show displeasure. Given the Wizard is probably also a much harder task than killing the Baron.
Yep. And with bloodline magic, the Wizard may be able to affect the Duke through his cousin. So there is some suspicion there as well. Might not have as much of effect by being a cousin than being a child or parent.
But there's still definitely shared bloodline.
There is the shared bloodline, and that shared bloodline can have ability to affect things with magic, especially corrupt magic.
noting the Ashen King's apparent connection to the demon worlds by being half-breed, and the fact that the demon world also currently uprising. Probably can't do any effective research per se in the library, but we'll find confirmed if there's any discussion with what Galliano or Dimitri might on top of this head might start to whether or not the Ashen King behaviour, the idea of the Heartfire Plague is reminiscent or indicative of any particular demon, and or historical events, on the idea of knowing best ways of countering it, aside from quarantine and elimination.
Okay, so from what the Owls and Zalagar have done in their own research, considering this was a priority for them as it was a potential plague about to hit the city, or hit the settlement as it is, it's not quite a city yet. What they had was that water magic may actually be able to counter it, as they believe it would have been the opposite to the demonic magic that had spawned it, because it was fiendish fire magic based, as everything seems to use some form of burning symbology in its effects.
And of course, that thought process to be quite thinking that, again, cursing Drexel and Retrian for having dispersed a lot of the items that are Dimitri collected. Dimitri doesn't have anything like water magic, but he gives us some items that can do that sort of thing.
Well, he still does have Drazzle with him who can do water magic.
Yes. Like I said, it was a terrible process. And that problem at water might be handy around there.
There's a bottle of endless water would definitely be handy. Who knows, another one may pop up.
Yeah, so I'm going to double check to make sure that he doesn't have that anymore. I'm sure they've got to give it on someone else. So.
I think it got swapped with a different version of it. I believe you might have gotten the Proteus one.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do indeed. But and yes, just double checking my equipment list to confirm that yes, the ring of fire resistance is amongst his normally attuned items now.
Well, we do have the various items there. They will get updated as we go. Hopefully by the time we come back in August, they'll all be updated properly.
Yeah, that's all good. So, as I said, it was well down. Yes, I know you must be following another. And then, yes.
But yes,
If I remember that, you wanted to spend a bit of time just find some water, put the fire goes out on the floor and remain before we left.
or you could literally have demolished a bunch of the fire demons by just spraying them with water.
Considering Dimitri's focused background forward is overlook obvious solutions in favour of complex ones, we find you can bring out the fire for this.
Hey, you can't solve everything.
I can, obviously.
The most complex one
But yes, I'm guessing that eventually dinner and discussions will wind up when they realise there's not much that can be further discussed on the current knowledge. And so we will aim to get a good night's sleep, unless people have specific things they want to talk about further.
No, not particularly.
So yes, you get a fairly nice space set up for each of you, as Dimitri has his estate room.
But yeah, his own room, that's right.
And the elves have a good trance area to set up to relax in.
Yes.
Well, considering it's within inside their national borders, they have made sure that there's places suitable for them. Why wouldn't they? If they have to come and deal with humans, they'll deal with humans while they're comfortable.
Perfectly reasonable.
Okay, so yes, morning comes without any major dramas. No one comes waking you up saying there's an emergency. And your servants don't report on Bradshaw trying to misuse the books. Apparently, some of the comments were, I didn't think he knew how to read.
Well, that's why I'm saying, Lechu was concerned that he might have the wrong purpose for the book and he took them off the reference.
But they did say he had a long discussion with the cooks of the settlement about how to prepare some of those dishes.
Right. And confirming the ingredients?
And confirming what the ingredients actually were, yes.
I'm sure it's good for him to know.
Well, I'm sure now he knows how to prepare some of his favourite dishes. I doubt that's changed his perception on eating them. Sorry, I'm also a bit fatigued at the moment as well, so I'm trying.
Particularly since Mark dropped off, I'm happy to, if you want to do, we can have a good night's rest and head out in the morning potentially when Mark is available after August.
Yep.
So
if Martin's happy for us to finish up there, I'll chat to you afterwards about what we're doing next month.
yeah. Now you feel man?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So I went out with my family and yeah, it was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll put it on end credits and then talk to you about what we're doing next month.